An ogre tower here in Heath Common? What's all that about? When you drive by Heath Common, right, on A638, you look to the left and you see this ogre tower behind me, right? And everybody just thinks it's an ogre tower, but it's not. Would you believe it? But it's actually a 500-year-old pumping house. And it's here at Heath Common near Wakefields, West Yorkshire. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take a look at this 500-year-old pumping house, right? But everybody thinks, right, it's full of like all these like old wives' tales and stuff, and like people say it's Rapunzel's tower at Heath Common. It's not even Rapunzel's tower, it's a pumping station for pumping water. Ogres don't even exist, so how can it be an ogre tower? You know what I mean? So really, it's Rapunzel's tower. People call it Rapunzel's tower, ogre tower, call it what you want, right? It's none of them, right? What it is, it's actually a pumping station, and it actually, when it was first actually built, it used a unique system. It used a water wheel. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take a look at this old pumping house. Right, so we've come to this pumping station. It used to be a pumping station, this behind me here on Heath Common. It's a 500-year-old pumping station, and we've just come and it's actually open. We didn't know we could actually get in it, right? So it's not Shrek's tower, it's not Rapunzel's tower, it's actually a pumping station. And when this was actually built, this here tower, who was it built by?
It's called the Mary Bowles.
The Mary Bowles what tower?
The Dame Mary Bowles pumping tower.
Right, so it's actually called the Dame Mary Bowles pumping tower. And when it was built and it was constructed, it used a unique system of a water wheel. And it was actually built over a spring. It's mint, mate, because usually when we come to these sort of things we can't get in them, but we've actually discovered it's got a doorway and you can just get in it, right? So obviously if you look at it, it does look a bit like a Rapunzel's tower. And you like scope up it and actually get it in shot, Mark. Actually it looks like a real Rapunzel's tower. So obviously this is why people think it's like a Shrek's tower. So what we're going to do now, we're going to have a look inside and see what actually remains of the actual pumping station that we're actually built for. So there's not a great lot really. Well, it's mad in here. You seen it? So what year was it built?
15 summer. This is 8, isn't it?
It's mint man in here, isn't it? So we've got wheel. Wheel must have been at the bottom here. Oh. The actual spring water that's actually flowing through here now is actually pagan. It's actually sacred spring water by the pagans. And in here, what they used to be an 18-foot water wheel. This tower used to house an 18-foot water wheel. And what used to happen is it used to fill a tank up. The spring water used to fill a tank up. I'm smoking and doing this. It used to fill a tank up, right? And what it is, when this tank used to get filled, it used to overflow, and then it used to drive a water wheel, and the water from this actual site would have been pumped out to all the rich people who live in Heath Common. So all the rich and the wealthy would drank this water, and the whole idea of the actual pumping station was to get running water to the houses of Heath Common. There's a big hall, a couple of hundred, and obviously the water from here would have served the big hall, which is a couple of 100 yards behind this actual tower. So, and actually a witch built this tower as well. So the woman, Mary Bowles, who actually stumped money up to build this tower, right? The rumour has it that she were actually involved with witchcraft and stuff. So she was like a witch, or like a little witch's tower really here at Heath Common. So some old wives' tales that do surround this actual tower have actually come from that a witch actually funded to build it. And this is what remains today. Obviously we've got a bit of running water, we've got all that remains today is a couple of streams. We've got a stream coming in at north end at tower and a stream at south end in the meeting middle. And obviously that's all that used to fill it up, just these two streams. Springs, they're not streams, they're springs. As you can see, what remains is we've got a few joists, a few wooden joists, and obviously it's a 500-year-old structure, and it's just still standing here today. Then obviously it's also a Grade 2 listed building, so it's a Grade 2 500-year-old pumping station, and that's what it is here at Heath Common. It's mad that really, isn't it, to think it's just here. The cistern tank would have sat up at the top, and obviously once this tank become full, and obviously it would have drove the actual wheel. It were a unique system that were actually installed into the actual pumping the water. There wasn't another system like it anywhere. You know, it was a unique system, and yeah, it's mad to think that it's still here. It's quite a crazy little place to come here. This here tower here at Heath Common. So there used to be 2 floors in here. So we actually housed 2 floors. Obviously we're on ground floor at the moment, but obviously you can see where the floors used to be. Obviously there's no evidence of it today, and it's gone, it's all disappeared. But there were actually 2 floors. You can see above me that's the doorway. There's another door into the actual tower itself. And we're on the lower floor. Well, if you really call it the basement, this is where a wheel would have been housed. But yeah, it's quite a mad structure really. I think it's still here and that. And yeah, it's just like a mad little ruin here in Heath Common. Crazy really. Man. See all the graffiti on the wall? That must have recently been removed, that wooden flooring. There's people like scraped into the graffiti wall, haven't there? How have they got up there? Man, crazy. As you can see, it was built to last, this tower. I mean, 500 years and it's still here. I mean, they didn't do things by half back 500 years ago when they built this tower. I mean, look at it. It's gone through an industrial revolution and everything, and it's just still here as a ruin. And it's still, I mean, if you really wanted to renovate it, you know, you could like just renovate it and turn it back into an house or something if you really wanted to. I don't think anyone's really going to want to, like, but you know, it's quite a nice, quaint, really eerie place to come to, and it's a mad place, and it's just here. Rumour has it it's haunted by the woman that built it. The woman that funded to build the tower, the rumour has it that she actually haunts the actual pumping station. Did you hear that then?
I heard something when we were going into it as well from the same location, mate.
Like in that area,
yeah,
over
like
there?
Like somebody scratching about in them trees.
Yeah, like somebody walking. So you can see behind me we've got the tower, right? So water from that tower would have been pumped in this direction, and obviously into the hall grounds which are behind me. So water from that tower would have served the village of Heath, right? As I've said before, the whole idea of the tower was to get running water to the rich and the wealthy. That's the reason why the tower was built, and it used a unique pumping system and water wheel system which were unique to that particular tower to get the water actually from that tower to the village of Heath. So that's the reason for this here Rapunzel's Shrek tower here at Heath Common. Well, these are like the properties. Look at this like big massive manor house here at Heath Common. This is where water will have been pumped to. The whole idea of the actual pumping station was to get running water to these properties. obviously the big manor houses, there's two of them, one there and obviously one over there, for the rich and wealthy of Heath. They wouldn't have served these little cottages, yeah, they wouldn't have got served by it, but the big manor houses will have got water from that little tower that we've just visited earlier.